Brilliant. Mickey sort of stepping out of his comfort zone there, and he'd done it so brilliantly, and we applaud him. Well done, Mickey. Absolute legend of a song. And as I say, it's available on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon, Pandora, and Deezer. But it's worth it checking out. Mickey Duffy, of course, and we look forward to Mickey popping up to see us again, I'm sure, sometime soon. But anyway, we welcome our first guest, and I was just trying to figure out in my head when the last time we were talking to him. But Mick Blake, you're very welcome.
Thank you very much.
It's good to see you. Mick, when was the last? Definitely before the pandemic.
It certainly was. I'd say about 2017 maybe. Yeah.
Well, you haven't changed.
Neither of you.
No, thanks very much. That's the complimentary. How's things with you?
Great, yeah, writing away. Doing the odd gig here and there.
All right. And the odd gig suits you, Mike?
It does. I don't do that much. I prefer having my wee studio at home and sitting mucking about and waiting for things to annoy me and writing songs about them.
Is that your style, your general style, protest type songs?
It would be the protest kind of thing. And unfortunately, there's a lot of material out there.
There's a lot of reasons to protest.
I was kind of in Ireland the last time I was here, but now it's gone global.
Spread. We're looking forward to that. We want to go straight into a piece of music, if you don't mind. And the first track you're going to do first?
It's Another Child, Another War.
This is a beautiful song.
Oh, thanks.
And the background is just for people that aren't too familiar with it.
Well, basically, I was kind of inspired to write this when Israel invaded Gaza back in 2014, and I suppose I wanted to kind of put into words how I felt about it. And Christy Moore then had a benefit do in Vicar Street, and he heard this and he asked me to come along and sing it. So that was kind of the release of it at the time. But I suppose the words sort of explain what it's about better than me rambling on. So I might just...
Whenever you're ready, Mick.
In Amsterdam in 44, behind a secret attic door, she takes the diary from the drawer to mark another day. For 2 years now, as darkness falls, safe within these attic walls, she finds it harder to recall when life was not this way. She scribbles down her hopes and dreams, all that she will be when the war is over and her family is free. But then one sunny August day, they came to steal her life away. In Amsterdam in 44, another child, another war. A different time, a different land, she clings on to her mother's hand and rushes to find refuge through the turmoil and the tears. For 2 weeks now, as rockets fly, no iron dome to guard her sky, she looks on as her little world slowly disappears. And in a place of learning, she seeks solace for a while. Her brother hums a lullaby, her sobs break into smiles. But sometime in the dead of night, they took her in a blaze of light. In Palestine, just like before, another child, another war. And so it all begins again. For now the children of Ukraine fall victim to a tyrant, and still we never learn. For when an infant's life is lost in siege or war or holocaust, the Rubicon has just been crossed, the bridge has just been burned. And those who try to justify will tell us it makes sense how dropping bombs on children is an act of self-defense. For fatherland, our promised land, on orders on those in command who tell us we don't understand. Another child, another war.
Yeah, lovely.
Thanks very much. I should say I modified that a wee bit with the Ukrainian war.
Because you say you sung that the last time you were here.
I don't know, did I?
Did you, Jimmy? I think you did, because it just came back to me, and then the Ukraine bit was on it, and I was going, God, maybe you didn't. But I think you did, you know, definitely last time. But unfortunately, you do have to.
Nothing much has changed, you know.
No,
it's got
nothing's
worse, if
changed
anything,
actually,
you know.
and it's a great point you're putting across. Another child, unfortunately, caught up in this stuff. But anyway, like the albums and stuff, I just heard you saying to Jimmy when I was sitting outside that you don't sort of, you're more into releasing stuff online.
Yeah, I think, you know, albums in this day and age, they're
changing,
kind of becoming a bit obsolete nearly, aren't they? Because I brought out Oblivious back in 2017, and then I discovered it was just easier to kind of release things. Usually on YouTube now would be my main sort of media.
Accompany that with a video.
I put videos on, not of me now, just of, you know, I like using visuals. So that kind of connects with people as well. So all the songs now that I do, there would be a YouTube video with them.
Do you make them yourself?
Yeah. But it's just a series of photographs usually. It just kind of reinforces, I suppose, what I'm trying to say.
And you notice, well, obviously through Spotify and stuff too, you can sort of see your listenership or the figures and stuff like that, and you'll get it on YouTube too. And you find that a better platform? For you, anyway.
For me, and I suppose everybody's different, you know. They're kind of hard to break through, and sometimes you're surprised at what's popular, and then you think you've come up with something brilliant, and it doesn't really. I know. But I blame the algorithms for those ones.
Very good, yes, indeed. So, you're involved with the Killy Band too, and that's what do you call it, Moy Lord?
The Moy Lord Killy Band, yeah. I think you had Shane Meehan in here few years ago. Do you know a fiddle player from Leitrim?
Oh, we did.
Yeah, he's in that as well. So there's a gang of us down in Roscommon, Leitrim, Sligo, and we're playing a gig now at the All Ireland in Mullingar. We won the All Ireland in Derry way back in the Fla, and we won the All Ireland Senior Killy Band at that.
Excellent.
So we meet up now.
How many members in that?
10. Has to be 10 in the Killy Band. Yeah.
Oh, is that the way it works?
Yeah, it's very
strict.
Oh yeah.
And what do you play? Do you play anything?
I'm the piano player. Yeah, they let me do a few songs as well. I said I do the protest songs to kind of balance things out a bit. You have all the happy Irish music.
Keep them going. But many albums have you in total?
Oh no, I just have the one album.
You just Oblivious is the first one.
Probably have about 35 songs
sitting
online.
Yeah.
So
Oblivious was the one I remember. God, it was just an amazing album. Absolutely an amazing album. I remember this clear. And that song. That song was done by Christy Moore as well.
It was, yeah. When I started writing songs, I suppose about 12 years ago, and the first one I wrote was called Leitrim: A Brief History, and it wasn't very brief at all. It was about 6.5 minutes. And then I got a phone call a couple of months later. It was the first thing I'd ever put up online, and you're kind of a bit nervous, obviously. Of
course.
I'd never sang in public or anything, you know.
Did you not?
No. I was always a musician, piano player, accompanist, and other bits and pieces. But so I got a phone call, and somebody said, "Hello, this is Christy Moore," and I thought it was one of the lads in the Killy Band or something, you know. But it turns out it was. Like, he got my number from Charlie McGettigan, who lives down, you know, close to me. So Christy knew Charlie, and he said, "I really like that song you're doing, but it's a bit long. Like, and can you send me all your other stuff? Like, and I said, that's the only thing I have." So since then, when I write something, he said, you know, send me on what you have. So then Oblivious was a few years later.
And does he acknowledge that when you send it on to him? Like, you know.
Oh, he does. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, he's a great lad. No, he'd always get back to you, you know. But yeah. No, and Oblivious obviously was I was delighted when he decided to do that one, and they said that was the one that kind of encapsulated the 1916 centenary for him. So
and for yourself, Mick, it's sort of big honour kind of thing, Christy Moore
Oh,
taking
it
your
is
song.
surely,
you
yeah.
know.
It doesn't get much bigger than that
No.
for a folk singer,
But
you know. So
when you say you're only sort of writing and recording this last 12 or 13
yeah,
years.
yeah.
Why was that? Why did you not
I
confident
don't
enough
know.
or busy?
I was always involved in music, you know, and I'm a primary school teacher as well. But so the first thing that inspired me was that whole, you know, it was the crash, I suppose. And I said, you know, everybody was angry about that and the different ways of expressing themselves. So I kind of went down the trying to write a poem first, and then put a bit of music to it, and it all kind of fell into place. It took about a year and a half in total, that first song. So, but, you know, it was something different. It's comparing the past and the present, you know, a bit like this one. Most of my songs do that, you know.
Well, the songwriting process for you, like, what does it involve? What way does it start for you? Because this is something I've always intrigued.
Yeah,
Everybody's different ways.
It is, yeah. I suppose it's hard to sit down and say I'm going to write a song. Right, so if anything occurs to me at all, I make a wee note of it on my phone. So if I have a bit of time, and I have a wee studio at home now that you know I've kind of built up over the years, if I have a bit of time at all, I'll sit down and I'll look on my phone and say, oh right, let's see if I can come up with a rhyme and couplet for that, or you know, an idea for that. Or another way I do it is I actually would Google the images and see what comes up for those images, and they can kind of inspire me. Now, the next one I'm going to do is like
very interesting.
It is so a kind of visual, you know, inspiration, I suppose.
You see, as I say, it's always good for you know, if there's young people listening, and I always just find everybody has so many different ways of doing it, and I love to hear. I always genuinely love to hear how people, you know, put their songs together and what inspires them and stuff. So, are you still teaching, Mike?
Oh, I am, yeah. Summer holidays now.
Summer holidays now, that's right. Do you enjoy it? It's getting tougher.
Well, I'm in a little country school, I suppose. Well, it's little, there's about 240 kids in it, but I enjoy it now, I have to say. Like, kids keep you grounded. They don't let you away with much. And they have a great sense of fairness, you know, and a great sense of right and wrong in terms of what's happening in the world. So we'd have a lot of discussions. And so, yeah, no, I get a big kick out of it.
You get inspiration from children for your songwriting?
Again, a lot of my songs are about children, as that one, you know, so I suppose write about what you know is the other one, and what annoys you or what you love, or you know.
That's very true. Mike, we're going to get another song. I'm going to take a commercial break here, if you don't mind. But the next song you're going to do first,
it's called Vova, and it's about Putin.
Another character. Right after this break, Mick Blake live in studio. Don't go away.
Do you suffer from high cholesterol, menopause symptoms, digestive issues, anxiety, aches and pains, or a lack of energy? The highly trained team at The Natural Way Letterkenny can provide advice on natural remedies for a number of individual health issues. The Natural Way also has its own brand of herbal treatments to help fight fatigue, relieve digestive discomfort, maintain a healthy immune system, and alleviate common menopause symptoms. The Natural Way at Letterkenny Shopping Centre, your one-stop health shop.
232. Three simple numbers. But for Audi, they signify more. More innovation and excitement. An invitation to experience progress you can feel. And a shift in mindset to greater expectations. Like the competition edition on the Audi A4 and A5 S-Line models. All part of our 232 range. Discover how progress makes you feel in a 232 Audi. And book a test drive today.
Hey John, quick, write this number down. 91 48 234.
Say that again, Mike.
91 48 234.
So what's that, Mike?
The number for Fleming Doors.
Fleming Doors?
No, Fleming Doors. You know, industrial doors, garage doors, roller doors, insulated doors.
Ah, okay, Mike. Give me that number again.
91 48 234.
Fleming's, engineering solutions for 150 years. Call us now on 074 91 48 234.
The best music on your station with Paul McDevitt.
It is, and you're welcome back. It's Monday night sessions, of course, and we're in studio. We're delighted that Mick Blake is with us, and this next song again, Mick, is called
Vova. I'll just tell you a wee bit about it first. It kind of started off as a poem. We were talking about the lyrics often come first, and I just we had a mother and daughter staying with us down in Leitrim for 10 months from Ukraine. And it was amazing. As the English improved, she would keep me up to date with what was happening on the ground with her friends over there. You know, it was horrific. And I decided to try and write something about Putin, and it was going to be an angry one anyway. And I kind of went on the internet again and found photographs of him when he was younger and stuff. And there was one particular photograph of him sitting on his mother's knee when he was probably about 9 or 10. You might have seen it. It's a black and white one. And he just looks very sulky and that he didn't get his own way, like, and I don't think much has changed since. But the other kind of things I found about him, he does things that would make like Donald Trump blush. Like he was on top of a horse in his bare chest, like out looking for a bear to wrestle or something. And then there's a comic book called Super Putin, where he goes around like saving the world and he can fly and stuff, and it's kind of amazing. It's
in Russia?
In Russia, yeah. You can Google all these things. So this is what, yeah. And so he's a real megalomaniac, like narcissist, you know. So then I put this poem up, and I send anything that I write to Christy, as I was saying. So he suggested another verse because he said, you know, I can see where he's going. What about all the good Russian people? He said, you want to give them a shout out towards the end. So he wrote the last verse of this, and I asked him yesterday, did he mind if it did? This has never been performed publicly before. So I asked him, did he mind if I stuck this verse in? And he said, no problem. So
we're looking forward to this.
We'll go with it. It's called Vova because Vova is, it's a kind of a pet name for Vladimir, apparently, in Russia. So, and the other thing about Putin was that a lot of his family were killed by the Nazis. And the fact that he can't kind of connect with that and say this is what he's doing in Ukraine now at the minute.
You know, isn't it funny what you say? So it's someone that I never thought about looking into. You know, it's strange that, isn't it?
No, a lot of it's hard to get to, you know, but as I said, if you look for the images, it's... but we'll go for this anyway.
Right,
so,
when you're ready.
In the Kremlin palace, amongst your fawning chums, your paranoid delusion feed the monster you become. Brainwashed teenage conscripts cling to your every word as you take Russia's noble name and drag it through the mud. Did not your family tell you how they suffered, how they died? A savage fascist army tortured, raped and crucified. Your babushka murdered, your uncles disappeared. And now you seek to resurrect the monster they so fear. Vova, little Vova, sulking on your mother's knee. Don't pout, little Vova. Think how proud she would be if you start World War III. An unrepentant narcissist, your ego's off the scale. A comic book depiction of a preening alpha male. A rabid despot, a macho homophobe. May all that hatred be consumed by the power of love. The love of Solzhenitsyn, of Tolstoy and Serov, Chekhov and Popova, Tchaikovsky, Turgenev, courageous Tereshkova, Prokofiev, Chagall, Pushkin and Kandinsky. You've betrayed them all. You've betrayed them all. Vova, little Vova, sulking on your mother's knee. Don't pout, little Vova. Think how proud she would be of Vova, little Vova, sulking on your mother's knee. Don't pout, little Vova. Think how proud she would be if you start World War III.
Yeah, it's brilliant, Mick. That's all I can say. Great lyrics in that.
Yeah, thanks.
But I can hear Christy Moore singing that, actually, you know what I mean? Like, that's a song I think he would have in his set list, without a doubt. Yeah. And a very prominent song at the minute, as you say.
Hopefully might get the last verse in there to finish it all off. Bring it round, but again, the way things are going at the minute doesn't look...
You'd probably be adding another verse about another war onto it, you know the way things go. Yeah. Mick, just growing up, music-wise, who would you have followed?
I kind of drawn out. My favourite songwriter, I'd have to say, is Randy Newman. I think he can do it all. He can do the sarcastic stuff, the protest stuff, the love songs, you know. Tom Waits, I would have liked to. Obviously, Bob Dylan. You know, so... You kind of draw on as many influences as possible.
You know? And it seems to be that sort of one style.
You do get that. But even, you know, some of the traditional Irish melodies or the songs, the common songs. Like, I was just looking there, the Hills of Glen Swilly and, Lovely Leitrim. Yeah. They all had a protest verse in them. If you look into it, there's a verse in the Hills of Glen Swilly about Lord Leitrim being killed. Up in Fanad, but it was left out because they sanitised them all, you see, because they just wanted to dance to them. Same with Lovely Leitrim. There's a verse in that Larry Cunningham left out about the Selton Hill massacre, which happened down in Leitrim. So a lot of these songs that are kind of, I like to think that they were kind of just to hide the important verse in the middle, but then the important verse got left out.
Because they think it's better just to be dancing.
Well,
having a bit of crack.
keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Do you read much?
I'm a terrible reader. I listen to audiobooks all the time now. A couple hours every day walking and going to sleep at night, but I have no concentration.
You're exactly the same as me. You want to say, there's a book, I'll get that book, right? And then the next thing, you put a bookmark on page 20. I have more books for you. Yeah. I've actually read a book twice that I forgot that I had, my level of concentration is exactly the same. But what I done was recently I got them ear yolks, you see, and I put them on. And like yourself, I listened to, what book did I listen to? Norman Wisdom.
Right.
Norman Wisdom reading his own life story.
Oh, very good.
It was I just loved it, like, you know. Yeah. And there's a great book I'm going through at the minute on the audio, and it's James Connolly, The Life of James Connolly.
Yes.
And it's great. Yeah. As you say, you're focused. It's a different way and it seems to stay in my head for some reason, you know what I mean? What's the plans, Mick, going forward this year? What?
Well, as I said, we have that gig now, the Cayley Band in Mullingar, and I think we have one the week after in the Coleman Centre in Gertrude, the home of traditional music down there. But I'm just writing away at home, happy to be doing that. As I said, there's a lot of material out there.
And walking away, Mick, you do a lot of walking?
I do a fair bit. We have two dogs that don't let you sit still for too long.
Very good.
I'm right down along the canal in Leitrim Village there. So there's...
Oh, you're in the village itself?
Yeah, there's a good 7 kilometres of a towpath there. So
what kind of dogs do you have?
I have a Jack Russell and a Bichon Free Shih Tzu mix, but they're both rescue dogs.
Oh, excellent.
And they keep you home.
Oh, they'll keep you going. Mick, the next song you're going to do for us?
Next song, it was on the album in 2017, and this one was inspired, again, you ask where songs come from, a pair of Queen Victoria's underwear. And basically they're up for auction in 2014 in Kent. And the description of them the description of was on the in the auction brochure, and it described the waistband was 59 inches, and she was only 62 inches tall. And it just kind of got me thinking, like, she must have had some appetite at the time when we were over here starving. You know, she was the Queen of England and Ireland at the time of the famine.
5'2".
And and there've been books written on her appetite. She was a right glutton now, and if she had people around, members of the family around for a meal, it'd be 7 or 8 courses. And if you didn't finish before she was finished, the waiters took away your stuff and bought her next plate. But again, as I said, the juxtaposition of her over there having massive meals and us over there, not starving, Mm-hmm. So I kind of looked then into did she make any effort to contribute to the famine relief effort, and who else helped us and came from unlikely sources? There was a sultan in Turkey who gave us quite a large donation, and then the Choctaw Indians, of course, over in America.
That's right.
As well.
That's a story that only came to me about this last 4 or 5 years.
There's a nice monument down in Cork, and that's beautiful.
Do you know what you mean?
Silver-coloured feathers, isn't it? And the nice thing about the Irish government has a scholarship for third level that they give to a Choctaw every year to come and study in Ireland. So
Excellent.
that's a nice
Well,
thing.
it's only
So
a bit right.
a little bit of
But
repayment.
no, that was a great story. That I couldn't believe that, and I didn't know about the Sultan of.
Yeah. I think he's connected with Drogheda United Football Club. I think it's on the emblem
Wow.
as well. Yeah, you can look all into this. We haven't
Do you know?
time to talk
But do you know the thing about it? I'm going to look on that because
Yeah.
I'm taking notes
That's
here.
great.
you
Now, if
see.
I can, if somebody decides
Absolutely.
to research something because of something they hear, or
But
something,
it's
all right.
history that's novel, and you're going,
Yeah.
God, that's relevant. I didn't, it's brilliant. Well, listen, whenever you're ready.
We'll go for this.
Yeah, go for it, is right.
It's said that Queen Victoria was as round as she was tall, and when it came to banqueting, she could out-eat them all. She'd trawl through 7 courses in 30 minutes straight, and ask about the Irish once she licked the 7th plate. She told the Royal Treasury to send £2,000 to show her starving subjects that their queen's love knew no bounds. A few crumbs from her table and her conscience was appeased, when the poor man's famine was the rich man's feast. A Sultan Lord of Turkey, he heard of Ireland's plight, took pity on the Irish, and to the Queen did write. Your Majesty, I'd like to send £10,000 to feed your subjects in Hibernia in their time of need. But the Christian Queen could not be bettered by a Muslim Moor, so she told him that he could not send a greater sum than her. To save the royal blushes, his charity decreased, when the poor man's famine was the rich man's feast. Across the wide Atlantic, a noble people dwell, and in the name of progress suffer their own hell. Driven from their homeland by ruthless profiteers, the Choctaw died in thousands all along the Vale of Tears. On hearing of the starving isle across the ocean wide, they gathered every cent they had and sent it on the tide. For they had known a hunger like their brothers to the east, when the poor man's famine was the rich man's feast. Blight is often quoted as the root of Ireland's woes, but enough to feed this country from times over left these shores. The army guarded ports from Donegal to Bantry Bay, so British ships could safely carry Irish food away. And the good Queen's chief economist, Lord Nassau, couldn't hide his bitter disappointment when just 1 million died. Oh, the blood of the Irish kept the wheels of Irish greased, when the poor man's famine was the rich man's feast. A century has come and gone, and still we never learn that decency is cast aside where profits are concerned. It's not with food but water that they tried to beat us down. Gone is Queen Victoria, King Dennis wears the crown. And under some delusion that the markets just might care, our government play middlemen to gambling billionaires, while the rich avoid their taxes and the working man is fleeced. Then the poor man's famine's still the rich man's feast. And what we allow continues as history repeats. And the poor man's famine's still the rich man's feast.
I remember that clearly from the album. Remember it clearly. And you said you didn't do well. There's a kind of half fun element.
Well,
in
yeah,
in
you
a
can't
sense.
keep it all.
No, but obviously there's a message in it too as well, which is brilliant, poignant, very good indeed. Your songwriting's excellent. It's really, and it's enjoyable and it's relevant and it opens my ears and eyes to something else. So it gives me food
I'd
for
have to
thought.
come back here more often. This is great. Now,
Definitely.
come here.
Definitely. Oh, jeez, don't make it 6 years the next time. We'll all be getting on. The Ballyshannon Folk Festival, you won that a couple of years ago.
I did. They had an online song contest.
Because
of COVID.
Yes,
and,
yes.
Unfortunately, they couldn't have it a year before last, so I kind of put in an entry for it. And I love kind of delving into like history of an area, so I tried to incorporate everything in Ballyshannon in it, you know.
Yes,
and it's they asked me back last year then to perform, and I did the support for Charlie McGettigan and Paul Harrington on their 25th year anniversary of it, which was also postponed, so it was actually the 27th or 28th year.
Very good.
But I think it's on again next week now, and they have a great lineup again this year.
Charlie's great fella.
He is. He is.
We've
Yeah.
Charlie up here. We're delighted with his company a couple of times. He's come up here. And, great.
No, he lives about 3 miles from me.
Oh, does he?
We're the only 2 members of the Donegal Born Leitrim Songwriters Association, as far as we know.
Very good. Very good. You're looking for new members.
Well,
excellent. Hey. And as I say, the gigs you're talking about is the Keeley Band gigs. And
yeah,
do you know, I totally get that from yourself, by talking to you and stuff. You can understand, you know, you just don't need the pressure of.
well, that's it. I enjoy the ride.
Yeah, of course.
You know, more. Now I like doing the odd gig. Now.
Of course.
When people ask me to do it, but I don't go looking for
But
it.
you don't. You're at it's your own choice, your own terms, as they say. You know. Come here, Mick. The final track you're going to do first.
The final one, during COVID, I kind of got into writing poems because, as you notice, some of the songs go on a bit. They're quite long. So I decided I was going to start writing a few sonnet type based things, 14-line poems.
Yeah.
And a lot of them went in the kind of soccer direction when, you know, one of them really took off there. It was why Ireland won't be supporting England in the Euros final. And they're all online again. You can Google them. But that got something like 100,000 views in a day. I put it out the day before. And again, you don't know how these things are going to go. Yeah. So that's on YouTube. But this was one, another soccer-related one, where you might remember the Irish player Chloe Mustaki. She was interviewed by Rob Wooten from Sky after they sang the ill-advised song, shall we say, in the changing room. Again, a bit of crack. I don't think there was any great political
I don't think so.
plan hatched that night. But, you know, they got carried away and whatnot. But he said to her, and I thought this was awful, it's back to the previous song again, do you think you need to educate yourselves about these things?
Yes.
And I started thinking, right, look at all the things that have been left out in the English schools about English history, you know, and English people today, friends of mine, say, I never knew we did that. You know, I said, it wasn't you. It was the boys way back, you know.
No, I'm not getting at you. Don't be
So I'm going to try and do this. It's a poem, no music to it. I'll just put a wee bit of backing. And again, I just decided to get back to Rob on it. And I don't know if he heard it or not. I tagged him on Twitter, but he didn't reply.
No, I don't think he will. But he's heard it, you can guarantee it.
Well, you never know. You need to educate yourselves, cried Rob from Sky TV. We're awfully offended by that Celtic symphony. Perhaps Rob needs some lessons as to why such songs were written, to reflect on all the brutal acts of not so great Great Britain. He'll learn of concentration camps his boys built in Transvaal, how the greatest Britain ever starved 3 million in Bengal. The genocide in Ireland Amritsar overlooked, conveniently airbrushed from his own school history books. And what of the Elgin marbles and the bronzes from Benin? All the national treasures filched as trinkets for the Queen. The stolen jewels of India, the pilfered tons of gold. How 3 million Africans were kidnapped, shipped, and sold. So when your books include the shrouded past crimes of your nation, then you have a right to preach on the need for education.
Yeah.
A bit different. You don't get much poetry.
No, but do you know what? You put history into poetry in such a way that you can listen to it, and it's amazing. Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed. Come here. Our time's gone past us here, and I just want to say thanks very much for coming on. Thank you so much. Brilliant poem, lad. Drumshambo in the house. Where can we hear it again? Well, if you follow us on Highland Radio, we'll hear it again.
It's online. Mick Blake music on YouTube. You'll get it.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the show, Paul. For Martin McFadden, good to see Mick Blake on tonight's show. Top man. So there you go. Come here. It'll not be 6 years, so I hope to see us again. Definitely not. It's been an absolute pleasure for us.
Thanks again, Paul.
Thank you very much.